very good afternoon to you and thank you for joining us on the news at 3 on Rstv. I am Ubelejit Yara. Headlines begin the news this afternoon. Federal government secures 44 fresh convictions on terrorism financing. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission refused claim of lack of integrity, transparency. Plus, Katsina State government suspend officials for torturing reformatory center inmates. Do you love and care about Rstv State and a peace? Let's build and take it to greater height. For this is a task we must accomplish. Now the details of our report. Rstv State Administrator Vice Admiral retired Ibokite Kwebas has charged permanent secretaries to uphold the highest standards of accountability, due process, and policy execution in their roles as administrative leaders. Vice Admiral Ibas gave the charge during the swearing-in ceremony of 8 new permanent secretaries at the Executive Chambers of Government House in Port Harcourt. Tamanobara Begulbo has the rest of the story.
The swearing-in ceremony of the new permanent secretaries marked a significant step in strengthening the administrative framework of the Rivers State government to deliver improved services and ease policy implementation. Vice Admiral Ibas stated that they should work for the stability of the public service, clarity of policy direction, and demonstrate integrity in operations of government.
With deep honor and a clear sense of responsibility, that I inaugurate the newly appointed permanent secretaries into the Rivers State Civil Service. This ceremony signifies more than a routine administrative exercise. It is a solemn reaffirmation of our commitment to institutional reform, performance-based leadership, and purposeful service delivery. You are being called to serve at a time when Rivers State is undergoing a delicate, necessary transition, unmarked by the charge by His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, to restore peace, stability, and good governance to our dear state.
The administrator also urged them to drive institutional reforms, embrace innovation and digital transformation while eliminating inefficiency in service delivery. Vice Admiral Ibas also called on them to challenge the status quo, foster a culture of excellence, and restore public confidence in governance through their actions.
The civil service is the heartbeat of any administration. Your emergence, therefore, is not only timely, but strategic. As permanent secretaries, you are not merely administrative heads, you are stewards of public trust, custodians of due process, and the drivers of policy implementation. The stability of the service, the clarity of policy direction, and the integrity of government transactions depend largely on your capacity to lead with accountability and foresight. Your appointments today must be seen as a direct contribution to that national mandate.
The newly appointed permanent secretaries are Emayami Roslyn Ephraim George, Dabite Sukare George, Subeten Duke Harry, Loretta Davis Dimpa, Uche Idozu, Jeremiah Egu, Nicholas Imenabo Wokuma, and Vera Sam Dike. Tamu Marabi Iblubo, Rstv News.
Rstv State Administrator Vice Admiral retired Ibokite Kwebas has called on religious organizations across Nigeria to develop strategic economic programs that will foster industrial growth, create sustainable employment opportunities, and tackle youth unemployment. Vice Admiral Ibas made the appeal when he received a delegation from the Niger Delta Synod of the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, led by their moderator, Right Reverend Noyu Biaripo, during the conservators at Government House in Port Harcourt. Again, Tamanobara Begulbo completes the report.
The administrator of Rivers State recognized the important role faith-based organizations must play in shaping society and urged them to support collaborative efforts that will align spiritual leadership and economic empowerment, expressing concern over the rising moral decadence in society despite the proliferation of religious groups. Vice Admiral Ibas urged church leaders to intensify efforts in mentoring youths, combating social vices such as cultism and drug abuse, and promoting environmental stewardship.
We need to work together to let the children know that we can't have a nation of people who don't want others to live. As adults also, I think we also have a responsibility to support in the advocacy on environmental stewardship and sanitation.
Reflecting on his personal upbringing, the administrator acknowledged the Presbyterian Church contribution to stability and moral guidance in Rivers State and in the Niger Delta region. He assured the delegation that the state government would participate in the Niger Delta Synod's 10th anniversary celebrations and consider their request.
I also acknowledge the long-standing contributions to stability and moral guidance in Rivers and Niger Delta area where you superintend, and therefore I emphasize that religious institutions remain essential partners in efforts to sustain peace and restore confidence in governance.
Right Reverend Adikpo commended Vice Admiral Abbas for maintaining peace, stabilizing governance, and ensuring effective public service delivery in Rivers State. He extended an official invitation to the administrator for the Synod's anniversary while affirming the church's commitment to praying for the success of his administration. The meeting underscored the importance of partnership between government and religious institutions in fostering economic growth, youth development, and societal well-being. Tamuno Barabi Iblubo, Rstv News.
The Rstv Council of Radio, Television, Theatre and Art Workers Union of Nigeria, RTAU, has endorsed Comrade Prince Emeka Kalu for national president in the forthcoming National Delegates Conference coming up 15 to 17 July 2025 in Gombe State. A statement by the state chairman Suzy Akrajaja said the council also endorsed Deputy National President Comrade Babangida Zumi and the entire Magic and Zumi lineup. Arising from the State Executive Council and stakeholders meeting of the union held at NTA Port, Comrade Akrajaja said Comrade Prince Emeka Kalu and Comrade Babangida Zumi have the capacity and wherewithal to preside over the affairs of the union in the next 4 years, and called on members of the union all over the country to vote massively for Prince Emeka Kalu and his team come the National Delegates Conference in Gombe on 16th July 2025. Nigeria has continued to bolster its criminal justice system, securing convictions of 44 out of 54 individuals recently arraigned in Phase 7 of the KNG Detention Facility terrorism trial. Head of Strategic Communication, National Counter-Terrorism Center, Office of the National Security Advisor, NCTC-ONSA, Michael Abu, on Saturday in Abuja said the remaining 10 cases were adjourned during proceedings held across 4 courts presided over by 4 federal high court judges. He said the country had, with the recent 44 convictions, secured a total of 785 cases involving terrorism financing and other terrorist-related offenses. According to him, this reflects the country's intensified efforts to combat violent extremism, dismantle funding networks, and strengthen national security through judicial enforcement. Abu said 237 cases were heard, resulting in 200 convictions in the Phase 6 trials, adding that the convicted terrorists received a range of sentences based on the severity of their crimes, from the death penalty and life imprisonment to prison terms of 20 to 70 years. He noted that the offenses included heinous acts as attacks on women and children, the destruction of religious sites, the killing of civilians, and the abduction of women and children during a brutal assault on the Gina Karakai community in Borno State. The Defense Headquarters says a high-profile terrorist commander identified as IBN Ali has surrendered to troops with his weapons and cache of ammunition in Bama local government area of Borno State. Director of Defense Media Operations Major General Marcus Kanye stated this on Saturday in Abuja, that the troops of Operation Handikai conducted operations in the general areas of Platari, Sambisa Forest, and Timbuktu Triangle, eliminating scores of terrorists. According to him, troops also conducted operations in Goza, Kaga, Mafa, Ngala, Abadam, Baba, Biu, Konduga, Damboa, and the local government areas, as well as Madagali local government area of Adamawa State. Kanye said the armed forces of Nigeria, in collaboration with the hybrid forces and other security agencies, intensified operations along both kinetic and non-kinetic lines across all theaters during the period under review without resounding outcomes. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has refuted claims of lack of integrity and transparency leveled against the Commission's boss, Ola Olukoyede. In a statement, EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale said the allegations against the EFCC and Olukoyede were worrisome and unjustifiable. Olukoyede said the EFCC has never failed to submit its annual reports to the National Assembly every September as it is statutorily required. He said for the purpose of clarification, the Commission does not recover monetary assets into its covers, and the non-monetary assets that are recovered are disposed of following clear pronouncement by court and proceeds paid into the confiscated and forfeited properties account in Central Bank in line with provisions of the Proceeds of Crime Recovery and Management Act 2022. The EFCC boss added that all its operations are regularly communicated to the public, including public auction of assets, and to deliberately cast the Commission in the mode of fraudulent engagement or criminality is not only mischievous, but also untenable. You're also watching the news at 3 on Rstv. Do you love and care about real estate and peace? Let's build and take it to greater heights. But this is a task we must accomplish. Still to come on the news, Somalia-Ethiopia tensions escalate as port deal talks stall. And in sports, Falcons get to $100,000 for quarterfinals qualification. Keep watching, we'll be right back.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happens with good laws,
Proper funding,
Training.
And cooperation.
if it happens,
If it happens.
If it happens.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Now to Katsina State, Governor Diko Rada has approved the suspension of key officials of the State Reformatory Center, Babaruga, over allegations of torture and mishandling of an inmate. The governor announced this in a statement in Katsina on Saturday through the office of the Secretary to the State Government, Alhaji Abdullahi Garba Faskari. He took the decision following the report of the committee mandated to investigate the allegations of torture and mishandling of an inmate, Usman Musa. Governor Rada also ordered the immediate termination of the appointment of one Murtala Suleiman, a casual staff member of the center, for his involvement in the matter. He further approved 970,000 naira to cover medical bills of the victim, as well as 35 million naira for the procurement of a sensor-enabled prosthetic hand to assist in his recovery and reintegration. Rada also approved the recommendation of the investigation committee to upgrade the center to meet international best practices in correctional management and inmate welfare. The governor mandated a committee chaired by his special advisor in public administration and service reforms, Alhaji Usman Ishiaku, to oversee the implementation of all approved measures to ensure strict compliance and long-term reform at the center. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, has said the sale of the country's crude oil refineries was not off the table, disclosing that the rehabilitation of the facilities had become more complex than expected. Group Chief Executive Officer of the National Oil Company, Bayo Ojulari, who spoke during the just concluded 9th OPEC International Seminar in Vienna, Austria, revealed that the technologies imported to fix the facilities are likely misaligned with the refineries as a result of old age. Ojulari's disclosure on the state of the refineries came a day after Alhaji Aliko Dangote also doubted the possibility of the state-owned Port Harcourt, Warri and Kaduna refineries functioning again, putting the cumulative spending of rehabilitating the refineries so far at $18 billion. Dangote had linked the turnaround maintenance of the refineries by the NNPC, whose former officials are currently answering questions from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to trying to modernize a car built 40 years ago when the technology has advanced. Aligning with Dangote's position, Julari noted that although a lot of investment had been made on revamping the refineries, the issue has become challenging. However, Julari admitted that the NNPC has to do more to ensure that there was a balance in terms of the crude Dangote was imported and domestic supply, stressing that the National Oil Company was working towards that. He disclosed that the NNPC would be ready for a stock market listing by 2028. On the foreign scene, Cameroon will hold presidential election on October 12th. A decree signed by President Paul Biya, the vote will determine who will lead the cocoa and oil-producing nation of nearly 30 million people for the next 7 years. According to the